Welcome to another episode of the ACA shows. My name is Alian Robles, and again, I will be your host for today. Right, today I actually have a very interesting topic: modern day slavery. Again, we have George, Chucky from VUT. Right, we have CCJ. We still don't know where that came from, and of course, we have the local guy.
What up?
Anthony G. Right, and today, as a special guest, we have the voice from a bunk. See, it laughed. Right, now, shoot, Alessandro, you go first. What do you think about it?
Well, how can you go for a job without getting paid? Like, you have two types of things when you're going for a job. You either do what's the word again for it? Help me out a bit.
Yeah, just a test day.
You have a test day.
You can look around as an intern. I mean,
yeah. So you have a test day and you can look around.
Yeah, like how I see it, right? You go to a working environment, right? And you're supposed to get paid for it. Doesn't matter if they tell you you have to look around or whatever, right? The way I see it, my time, right, costs money, right? Same as theirs, right? I'm not going to be wasting my time and work for nobody. Like, oh, that's slavery. What do you think?
I think they had a point, Mitch, but it's kind of excessive to do the whole 8 hours though. Like, you can get a feel for the work in 3 to 2 hours, or just walk with them and don't do anything if they're not gonna pay you. Or they can always pay you in cash just for that day. I mean, I've done that before. Like, I had to work one day. I don't work on paper, but I get paid like cash. Not the whole pay because I don't do much, but something.
Yeah, something worth your time. I mean,
yeah, but that actually is the point. The point is that you was working. It's not really like you were given a tour. If you was given a tour, technically you're not allowed to work. You just look around and things like that.
That's a great point.
That's a great point. But since they told you it's a work day, technically they should be paying you.
Hey, voice, what do you think about it?
I knew you were gonna come to me sooner or later. But no, I think the most obvious thing about it, I should say, is basically that it's reflecting a desperate situation in what is, no matter what anyone says, worldwide, a desperate economy. Because this man was cutting corners. He was cutting corners for his job, his company, the company that he works for. His bosses probably cut corners. He may even become a victim of cutting a corner at some point. They could probably end up telling him that, okay, he's worked here for so long, but he's ended up being cut for why, downsizing.
In this case, he owns that store. In this, he owns it. He was the owner in this case.
He owns it, but despite being ownership or anything like that, people can still get screwed over. People are being screwed over.
Absolutely.
Even when they thought that they were secure in their jobs, in their money, in their banks. I mean, this is like a low form of something that could happen in a higher managing ranking position. And it sucks that it happened to you. But the thing is, the only reason he's cutting corners is that he's desperate. That's the biggest part.
If you are that desperate, for employees, right?
True.
I also explained, the solicitation process has to be strong, right? And the one that you invite to come work for the first day and invite for the trial period, has to have gone through a rigorous, process. Right? If you really are that desperate, you don't ask people to come hire. I think it's the reverse. I think that the people who are applying for the job are desperate enough to agree to be a slave for a day, because in the end, if you do your best, right, and by any chance if it happened to be race or what you said for one day or one thing you said wrong maybe during the day, anything could happen, and you say, okay, go home, see you, thank you very much for your day, and what did you just do? Nothing. Anyway.
So you have no guarantees, really.
You have absolutely no guarantees, because I didn't sign a contract, nothing. He wanted me to work 8 hours.
But how did you get to that point anyways?
I actually agreed to be there, under the conditions that I'm not getting paid, right? If I tell you this, right, you come and work for me, right? You've already had your interview, right? And I tell you, George, the only way that you will get this job is to suck my dick. Would you do it?
No, fuck up.
Huh?
No.
Yeah, exactly. Now, putting it in another sense, you have to be a slave for me for one day in order for you to get the job. Would you do it?
Depends on what you define by slave, but if
That's
it's this
slave,
way, no, it just depends. Depends
Yeah.
on what you know what you want to do.
Borderline slavery to me, man.
Yeah.
That is slavery, but
Here's another thing, right? I've been reading around on forums, and there are cases, right, that people have to work for a week with no pay, right? But same situation, just more days. Would you do it?
no,
It's the same principle, right?
no, but it's the same principle if you go with the whole school thing, like the internship. They also don't always get paid.
Yeah,
But that's
but
a learning process.
That's a learning process, and the
Yeah,
thing
but-
is, as an intern, you can still find a job that actually pays you.
Yeah, I
It
know.
doesn't come as often.
I know, but that's basically the same concept what they're trying to do right now, but they call it the learning concept. That's what they basically
Yeah,
they're
but
making
that's
it into an internship, but you can't really do that without it
Yeah.
being for a study.
You mean to tell me this economy that as it is like today, right? It's pretty hard to get a stable pay, right?
Yeah.
I mean, anyone with like some type of pride, right? Especially in this time, would not go waste his 8 hours a day, right? Not getting paid, for anything. I mean, come on, like every week I go to my different jobs, like that the temp office gives me, right? And even if it is low pay, at least I am getting paid. I don't like the job. I'd rather have the one that I went to, but I don't think it's right.
No.
I actually think it's borderline illegal.
So you went and you didn't get to sign anything.
Didn't get signed
It was
anything.
just verbal
It
agreement.
was a verbal agreement.
Then he's basically screwing you over.
Voice, what's up?
It's a voice.
Tell me.
The thing is, the man, I mean, you can blame him as much as you want. You can say that he's being unfair. You can say what he's doing is illegal. Technically, yes, it is. That doesn't change. It doesn't change that technically,
Well,
yes, it is.
No, technically, it's borderline because verbal agreements in Dutch law do count. Only problem is that since his position is higher than yours,
Exactly.
then yeah, his word becomes
A verbal agreement
More
does.
liable.
A verbal agreement can, with the right circumstances, hold up in court.
yes.
That is the bad part about it. If you have witnesses to bear, all that kind of circumstantial shit. This is true. But what I mean not to be on his side is that he is a manager. Okay, as manager, you are going to take the brunt of whatever goes wrong. You have like you said in what is it in English?
FMB,
FMB.
food and beverages.
Unfortunately, you have interchangeable employees. That's an unfortunate thing because in that service you have them. It doesn't matter if you can throw this together. You are an employee. So he is doing something bad with somewhat maybe good intentions, if you can think of it like that.
I don't think there's any good intention at all. I think
in his eyes.
his eyes bullshit. I call bullshit on that. I seriously believe, right, that business owners these days, right, just take advantage of the situation, right, and just exploit it, basically.
In such an economy, you can't. Desperation is going to invoke taking advantage of other people's desperation. So in an economy of this kind of feeling, he's going to take advantage. And that is bad. That's what I mean when he says good intentions for him.
Yeah. It's a win-win situation for the business
Yeah,
owner,
exactly.
right? And I think that is a dangerous position, right, for the people that are looking for work. I mean, his poster for hire was there for 2 months ago. I mean, I even took a picture of that and 2 months ago. And you mean to tell me that a place that is hiring full time still hasn't gotten any employees? Think about that, eh?